hello. And welcome to an episode of As Told by Us,
Boom,
the
boom, boom,
podcast.
boom.
Just a reminder, if you're listening on audio, if we're playing in your ears, you can now see our lovely faces on YouTube. So go there and
Shakara.
subscribe, please. This episode is going to be a bit emotional.
Oh?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit
Stuck.
emotional. Um, First and foremost, how are you guys? How are you feeling in terms of just the general gist of your lives right now?
Bruh.
Explain what you're saying. What are you
I'm
asking?
Let me
stressed.
explain.
What are you
Oh,
asking?
Chido says she's stressed.
I think that, okay, for all intents and purposes, I think 2026 is a big year for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I'm stressed in terms of just like, how am I going to do all of the things that I want to do? Ah.
Many moving parts.
Do I need to like, I don't know. It's just, I'm just stressed because I have a lot of things that I want to do, but I'm also thinking like, can I afford the things I want to do? Like just, I suppose, big dreams and just not knowing if I'll be able to sustain those big dreams.
Fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. I
And you
think
guys?
obviously I don't have something specific, but I think I'm on the same wavelength as you, where I'm like, okay, now I feel like at this age, the things that I'm doing need to make sense. If I'm spending a lot of time on something, it needs to make sense in the long run.
Yeah.
If I'm going to say, oh, I'm spending a lot of time at work at my 9 to 5, it needs to make sense in the long run. What am I spending that time on now for my future? So I think, yeah, I'm also on that same wavelength where I'm like thinking, how do I do this? How do I like navigate this in a way that benefits me
Yeah.
100%?
I think I am confused, right? 2026 already has shaken me, right? So now, in terms of things that I want to do or wanted to do, I'm not now sure if I want to do those things. All right. Worse when it's been things that you've always wanted. Like you knew that like my next step is here, my next step is here, my
Yeah.
next step is that. And now I'm like, why? Also, do I want to?
Do I need
Also, do I
to?
need to? Like, I feel like, are they loose ends that I feel like I want to tie up? Yes. But at what cost? Cost of my peace, cost of my sleep, cost, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of it is what I'm asking,
Yeah.
and so I think that hence my confusion. Like, I'm not sure if certain dreams or goals are still worth
Pursuing.
chasing, right?
That's hectic, dog.
But like also I like the art of completion, so if I started,
You
I
must
want
finish
to
it.
end it. So
Yeah.
it's very much like I don't know, and like, would I feel bad 10 years from now if I don't do it? Will I still in 10 years from now be like, I should have just done it when I had the time? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you just do it then? And now you want to do it, and now it's like, cool, just do it and finish, even if you never care about it anymore. But just do it and be done
And
with
be
it.
done
Now
with
that you're
it.
thinking about it, but it's also like, at what cost? Because I like to sleep. I like to do things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I don't also want to be like constantly
Go.
Yeah, like, yo, guys, peace. Peace is nice.
I think we're just living in a crazy time because like we're in the rat race, right? We're chasing after something that almost feels like we can't quite get or we can't get there. And for me, it almost feels like I'm always chasing money, guys. Like,
Hence the episode today. That's why I'd asked you guys, how are you doing?
yeah.
Thanks.
I think this episode came about because we were having a conversation a lot like this, but in our group chat, right? And Anesu brought up something that was so profound. And she was just talking about like, yo, why do we have to like always be chasing the bag, right? And then I suppose it brought the today's topic, which is just decentering money, right? Like, why is money the main character of our lives?
Because
No, for
capitalism.
real.
Because
That's
capitalism.
the answer to your question. Because capitalism.
And what did capitalism do?
Because what are we gonna get without money? How do you live without it? How do you, pay
Whatever happened
rent,
to like
buy
riding a
food?
bicycle and just enjoying the countryside?
Yeah, but we can't. That's the thing. I think we're too far gone for us to now say, "Tau dogs will get a kumusha." You know, like we're too. So now that you have the luxury of your car, to now say, "Jachova baskoro," to go where? You know.
I can't even ride a bike, and I'm
You
saying
see?
that.
Same.
So it's things like we're too far gone into capitalism.
Yeah.
But I think the question is not so much like these things. Fine, let's all agree we need money, right?
Yeah.
But how much money do we need to
Yeah.
live comfortably? Like, is a Billy really necessary? Or if you have enough for bills, maybe a holiday, maybe, some clothes in the middle of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a restaurant once a month. Like if you have that, is that not enough?
It's crazy because how long have I been working? I've been working for some
8
time.
years. 8
Yeah,
years.
and from the time I started, like the difference in my spending, for example, from the time I started working to now is crazy. In the sense that, like, when I started working, earning, I don't know, I can't say how much I was earning, but I was earning very
Nothing.
little, right? My spending was
Nothing.
close to nothing. And then now, like when you fast forward to like when you're starting to earn a little bit more, then all of a sudden you're open to this world of online shopping. Like
Deliveries.
things. So now it almost feels like it's not enough. Like I'm always chasing the next. Like I need more. I need an extra $500. I need. So I suppose it just brings us to the whole aspect of decentering money, right? And what is that? So when I was reading about this, it was like it's basically a paradigm shift, having a mindset change around how you think about money. So, you know how I mentioned money as the main character of our lives. So rather than having money be the main character, that is like just a supporting act,
It's
right?
a tool, I
Yeah,
think.
it's not, it shouldn't be like the protagonist in Kuda's story. Like money
Yeah.
is not the protagonist. It's just a
It's the weapon formed.
Against,
And it's
against
prospering.
you.
yeah. What do you guys think? Like what are your thoughts around decentering money? What does that look like for you?
I think when I did say it in the group chat, it was more how I just feel very exhausted by work and trying to make money, and you need a side hustle to support the other side hustle. You need to always be making money. And I think because we live in a country where everyone has a formal job and then they also have other things that they do, it then looks weird when you are just living your best life.
Right.
It then looks weird when you're like, okay, guys, I'm just going to do my 9 to 5 and that's about it for me. People will be like,
Chete.
Chete,
Yeah.
why do you watanga something?
I've noticed
Why do you
that.
watanga side hustle? And I guess that's where I was coming from, because I feel like I spend a lot of time just at work. Why am I going to work? To make money. But when do you spend the money? Do you actually have like a weekend where you say, guys, those 8 hours a day I was spending,
Right.
watch me do this specific thing with the money that I've made. And as I get older, I find I'm not having that time to do that. So
Because
it's
you're
like
tired, you're exhausted.
I'm exhausted. So I'd rather like sleep. And then, so between that time you've sacrificed and you've given these people your intellect, your
Right.
all, those hours, some of us even work over hours,
Right.
like you've given them that. What have you given yourself?
Yeah.
Was my question to say, hey, guys, can I decenter this thing? Can I like say, whatever I'm making is what I have and
And
that's
it's
what I'm going
enough.
to use and that's enough? Can I have that time where I say, okay, I don't need 3 side hustles?
Yeah. Me, right? How I look at it, and you're right. I think it's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
But you know the audacity of men, right? I feel like if you've noticed,
The audacity.
men's side hustles are less energy spending.
Yeah.
Right? Like eat diri. Like it's always like,
Like,
eat diri,
I
but
don't
like
like, some water. I don't
like,
get some
yeah, it's
water.
like a
Quick thing.
it's a quick, oh, I have and I have, and then all of a sudden mandem's made to get, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's that way. And for us it's more
Get some
and
madumas.
exactly, like you have to show up every day at your 8 to 5, plus also this one also needs marketing, also deliveries,
Yeah.
also you're doing a lot of, like, it's another job you've taken.
Yeah.
You're no longer side hustling, you're now just working 2 jobs,
2 jobs.
or 3 jobs, you know what I mean? Like, it's very involving, whereas dudes just do a kadiri here,
And
make
there.
$200, and not only do they make the $200 and like take it home, they make 200 and then they go drink it, right? And then they
Yeah.
go make more because the people they're probably drinking it with are the people they did the diri with, right? And so tomorrow that guy's gonna say, oh, here's another diri ramuka, and they're
Yeah.
like quick. It's not like they have their jobs, but anything else outside of that, they're not spending energy. And I think that's what we need to be doing. That's why we're tired, because our
Yeah.
side jobs, require
Baking, catering.
and that's I remember saying, I remember saying to
Catering.
Anesi, like, it feels like there are people that we know, right, that don't sleep. Like, you see them working their regular jobs, right? And like you're saying, maybe from now 6 o'clock to midnight, they're either doing prepping if you're a caterer, or you're now doing TikToks for your handbags, or you're doing
Yeah.
other things. So now then it's like midnight or it's 2 a.m. You need to sleep because you need to wake up and go to your
And
8
go
to
to
5.
your 8 to 5.
You know?
You guys are talking about something that I've been also kind of asking myself, and I think I had this conversation with a colleague of mine. There's this thing in Zim where, as you were saying, Anezu, if you're working a 9 to 5, it's not enough. It's almost not enough, right? Everybody will look at you sideways to say, you're not, like, they ask you in a way that, like, are you not ambitious enough to also have a side hustle to get more money or whatever? And the question that comes to mind is, what if I'm just not that way inclined, right? I may not be side hustle inclined, but I do have a 9 to 5, and I just want to work that 9 to 5. Like, I just want to work that 9 to 5 without feeling the pressure of starting another business on the side.
Right.
Yeah.
But can I also, I'm
Yeah.
adding to that.
Yeah.
Being that even if you work in 8 to 5, now we've all been in corporate, right? Understanding that even then there's additional things that make you center money, right?
Yeah.
So there's an extra commission that you get if you work 6 more hours in a thing, you're always being enticed with, like, a promotion that will pay you more, or
If you earn more.
a commission from a matter that you do that, if it works out well, you get 40%, or if you
Yeah.
bring a client, we'll give you 10%. Even in that culture itself is still very much centered around
Yeah.
the money and like why can't what I'm earning generally just why can't you just pay me enough for me to be able to live comfortably and I just come do my job and then I leave at 5 o'clock and then we see each other
Then I
again
go home
at
and I
8
sleep.
and just do that. Like I don't need any extra incentives. I don't need any extra cash. But because you're creating an environment where I need to get like if only one of us is going to get the incentive, now I have to work harder than Agnes. I have to work harder than Chido. I have to, put in my hours. I have to do all this extra stuff to get an extra
Cause something,
$200,
something.
an extra. You know what I mean? Just so that I have that.
I think somehow we've also made our sense of worth and our definition of success intrinsically linked to what's in your bank.
Also, what you've got, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the things. I don't think people have in their banks what they want us to think they have in their. But if you
This is
see
true.
him driving a certain car or wearing certain labels, then he will. It's like okay. Mazano Varguchamari. Like you don't even know how much is in his account. You don't know where he got his clothes from. You don't know if this car is on payment plan. But like you are like, okay, Mazano, can you beg? And they want you to. That's what they want. They want you to think there is money.
Yeah. I guess it's also just the systems we're in. Like what you're saying, Kuda. It's the systems we're in. It's there's capitalism, but at the same time, your employer at the top is not going to give you all of that money so you're content. They want you to continue to come to work and they want you to continue to fight for a promotion.
Right.
So you make them the money in the end. So I guess it's a lot of like just decentering money, but also like thinking outside. What are the systems that are in play that actually like affect how I live as a person? So yes, I'm going to work, but am I content with that?
Yeah.
Would I rather be an entrepreneur? Which, guys, I think
It's not for the weak.
we've had entrepreneurs on this podcast and they really tell you things are not as they seem.
Yeah.
And you need to be a specific type of person in order for you to go that route
Right.
and to actually succeed in that side of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to that, like how you're explaining it, it's a lot of systems that I'm thinking, wow, there's so many. I feel like a puppet.
Yeah.
I feel like a puppet. And I wish I had the scissors to snip, snip.
Remove
Because
the
string
a
off.
lot of
string.
things happen because someone else is behind it and they
Right.
also want to gain a lot from you. So just going to work, working 9 to 5, that's crazy talk post-COVID, because we all know that you can make your own hours and the work will be done.
Yeah.
But we're all being expected to drive to work, be at work by 8 o'clock. Do you ever, like, this is just a general question, do you really like work when you get to work at 8 o'clock?
No.
I think I like start later on.
Not
I've made my
10.
tea. Hello, Moni.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but how was your weekend?
Respond to my WhatsApps. All of 10 guys
So
is
I
when I'll
guess
start working.
I'm thinking of it now in like a bigger picture sort of situation where yes, money is that, but it's also there's so many things that are working behind the scenes that you would also need to
Decent.
decenter. Yes, I want to make money, but how am I doing that? Am I going into a corporate? Am I entering the rat race? What are the dangers of a rat race?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what are you, and I would also add what you are, if you decenter the money, what are we now centering, right, in its place?
Yourself.
Your mental health,
Your sleep.
your
Your rest,
sanity.
yes. And I think that's
Um,
important. If you start from a basis of like, listen, here are my priorities. Rest is important to me. My health is important to me. My mental health is important to me, right? The money, yes, is a tool. I want it. I guess I need it.
Yeah.
But
To
not
what extent?
not to the point where it's now damaging my health, right?
Yeah.
2021, right? When I was like, I don't want to do corporate anymore. I'm going to go be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? And I did that. And I did that. And I did that for a year. It was great. I mean, I made money, right? But the cost to my sleep, because I didn't sleep the whole year, I was not sleeping. It
You
was
see.
back to back to back. I was tired, and
Exactly.
as with chronic illnesses, my body was burning because I was
Yeah.
up all the time, right? Once I got to October, I was like, mate, we have to rethink this.
Yeah.
Like, let's actually think about this, right? Corporate wasn't great. It wasn't nice. But I slept more. Right?
Yeah, because you
I
have a
didn't.
schedule.
Yeah.
Like you're working from 8 to whatever.
Yeah, I slept more. I wasn't moving. I wasn't up and about more. Could I have said, can I change the business in a way that also allows for that? Yes. And I think in later years, I said, okay, let's actually change how we, like, if I want to continue to do the business, let me change also how I do it.
Yeah.
Right. Which in itself could be a way of, just reorganizing
Yeah.
and decentering. But my mind said, I think I was happier
Yeah.
at my regular job. I think I was more at peace because I'm not stressing. Am I going to get a client? Am I not going to get a client? I'm getting paid either way. Whether you have a client or you don't, you're going to pay me. I wasn't having to go out and find the clients and do, I wasn't going to source resources and market to myself. And listen, that was all inbuilt. All I had to do was show up and do my job.
Yeah.
And still get paid. You know what I mean? And so because my priority said my health, my sanity, my energy, it was taking too much.
Yeah.
Let me just go back to work and, do that. And could it be, I don't think it's a point of I'm not inclined business wise. If I want to do it,
You can.
I can, right? I've got a good foundation for it, but the choice is, do I need to? Do I want to? And maybe if I do it, maybe just over the weekends, I don't have to do it over. Like, I can now work with the schedule because I've prioritized what's more important, which is my sleep and my sanity. So then if I decide I don't want to take an order this weekend, I really just want to sleep.
Your English teacher must have been cringing in that moment.
Do you remember? She was like, girl, what? Mrs. Patel said, huh? What'd you say?
So
girl?
I suppose because the next question was that I was about to ask was how then do we kind of redefine or how do we get into decentering money? And from what I already gather from what you guys were talking about is that we need to redefine some certain terms, right? And I think one of them that we really need to redefine is what is wealth to us. Because I think, again, our English teachers must have been cringing. People interchange wealth and money quite a lot, right? People assume that because you have a lot of money, that you have wealth. But I think if we were to also redefine what wealth means to us, then we'd kind of have a hierarchy of values or of things that we value to say, okay, no, if health means wealth to me, then it means that I need to prioritize sleeping. I need to prioritize eating well. I need to prioritize, I don't know, going to the gym or exercising, as opposed to like wealth means I need to have $1 million in the bank account. Therefore, I mustn't sleep in the pursuit of this $1 million. I don't know. What are some of the key terms for you guys that you would want to redefine in this pursuit of decentering money?
Success, I think. Also, I think there's lots of milestones that we've been taught
Yeah.
to have, by such and such, you must have such and such, by whatever, and also just things that I guess everyone wants, right? Everyone wants a house that's theirs, right? In a nice neighborhood, right? You want to take your children to decent schools where they will at least be educated well. You want a car that moves, that can take you to Blue Whale if you needed to, you know? But I think defining what's a good suburb to you, I think is important. Not because everybody's going to Borodobrook.
That you must
All
also
of us must
work
also,
towards
because now
it.
Borodobrook then becomes,
It
do you
just
know what I
becomes
mean? You're
overcrowded.
just going to find another place to make, because now Mawandis are anyway, they don't want you there, right? And just define like those milestones. What is a good score? Fine. I think for me personally, I have the anxiety of, I know where I went to school. I would feel so bad. So bad if like my kids.
Would you feel like a bad mom if you took your child to a school that wasn't the same as the one you
I
went
genuinely, and I think, again, here, definition of success, I would have felt like I failed.
to? Oh.
I would have been like, but like you can't
But who
convince
did you
me.
fail?
That's what I'm saying. But you can't
Yeah.
convince me that like the economy, and so the kids must go anywhere.
Because you went to that school because your parents,
Because my parents could afford it.
Do
Do you see it?
But I feel like if you take your child to a school you cannot afford, then aren't you also failing your child?
Yeah, the
Because
point is to
then
be
the
able to-
embarrassment of then
Yeah.
moving from
So the
from
point
that.
is now for me means I have to work hard to make sure I can afford it. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, that becomes my definition of success. It has to be a school at least equal.
Okay,
You know,
fair.
at least like it'll make me. But does the suburb where I live matter? No. You know, like there's certain things that I think for me will be like, I must.
Because a
Other
house is a
things-
house is a
yeah,
house at
mate,
the
as
end of
long
the
as I live,
day.
right?
Like,
And it's mine, and nobody's coming to grab it from me, and I'm happy.
Sha.
But you see what I mean? So I think just redefining what success looks like for you, not like a general
Yeah.
sense of success. There might be things that are important to me that are not important to you,
Yeah.
like the school thing. But like for you, it could be a suburb thing. It could be how many trips we take in a year.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. That should be a very important thing. And where we go, and are we flying economy? Do we have to fly first class?
Do we even need to take a trip?
Do
we need to fly? We can drive our Honda Fit to Honda Valley and have a
a good
holiday.
time?
Yeah.
You see,
I
that's
think-
what I mean. What is success then?
Yeah.
And also this trend, I don't know if you guys have seen this trend on, should be online somewhere, where as the year kicked off, people were like, allow me to de-influence you. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw those.
Oh, I
I've been
did,
seeing
I
it.
Yeah,
did.
and I think that also like impacted my thinking in the sense that what we're seeing online really is very detrimental to a person. One, living in Africa. Two, living in Zimbabwe. Three, being a woman living in Harare.
4, being black.
Yeah, like I think we're all we're just watching a television screen and they're like just churning out things. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. You don't need to go on a trip every December. You don't need like that's I guess that's you also deprioritizing that
Yeah.
from your list to say,
Yeah.
do we need to go on a trip every year
yeah.
as a family? Kothi kambe ndokumusha.
But
Kothi
kumusha
kagara kumba.
mazotinyanyira,
Like
amatinyanyira.
there's some things where as a family you don't even sit together in a living room and talk, right? You're always thinking go go go. So we're all at work, we come back, we're all on our laptops. We then plan a trip. There at the trip no one is talking to anyone. So you're like,
Yeah.
what have we
was the
done
point?
here? What was the
Yeah.
point?
But
For
it's the-
Snapchat?
The peer
Or
pressure.
Instagram?
Exactly. I was going to say it's the peer pressure. Of
Yeah,
it,
so I guess now we just need to see.
that's what we actually need to decentralize. Peer pressure.
peer pressure.
Like, live your life, guys. Honestly, I do think a lot of it is really because you've looked at my life and then you've looked at Nessa's life and you're like, but me also.
Me
I'm
also, I
behind.
want.
It's one thing, and Nessa's not checking back to see where you're at. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, no one cares. And maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But, like, genuinely, no one cares. The people you are thinking care about the car, the clothes, the house. They don't. Like
Okay.
genuinely, we don't. And
Yeah.
I do, and I get because of the Snapchats and the TikToks and the Instagrams. I think we've all left. Funny enough, we've all left the socials except for the podcast socials.
As told by us.
Except for that, but we've left it because you're feeding into something that you'll never be
That doesn't
satisfied.
exist. Yeah. It's like I had written down here, like, what is enough, right? You guys are basically just, like, what is enough? I think we need to be able to determine that for ourselves. And how we do that is to figure out what it is that you want from life. What do you want from life? What do you need from life? Knowing the difference, right? I would want to go on trips every year, but I don't have the money for that. So I must focus on what I need in life, right? I just need food in my belly and, I don't know, whatever else I need to get by.
I don't think it's wrong to have certain things that you feel like you want. Like, like if you do want to take 2 trips in a year, put that as the goal, right?
Yeah.
I want 2 trips in a year. I want to be able to afford 2 trips in a year, And then if you are then going to do a side hustle, if you are going to push for extra income, right? Do that in a way because the goal, but also in a way that's not taking away from why you're doing it. But where you're just hustling just to hustle, just for some amount of money that is also undefined. Because once you get to the point where, okay, I can now afford such and such. Now, but now look, my friend can also afford whatever. So now
So
I need to
up
like
them.
you're constantly. But if you're saying, I just want enough to be able to take a trip with my family and enough to be able to pay such and such bills and be happy. And if I don't want to cook, I want to not stress about I'm ordering food, right?
Yeah.
I just want to order the food and not have to think about it, right? If I want coffee, I want to go to Plato and say, hey, and just get my food.
Buy a $6 coffee.
You see? And if that's like what's comfortable, then hustle in a way that's what
that, like,
this is why.
Your needs and wants are met and it's
Hey,
enough.
And it's enough. And
Yeah.
once you get there, shagwan.
But do you think as people, though, we're capable of identifying what is enough and kind of being satisfied with that to say, no, I'm good? There's very few people I hear in the world who just say, nah, I'm good, actually. I'm good where I'm at. There's very few people. Everybody is working towards something bigger. Oh, it's not enough. They might have a Range Rover and a mansion, but it's still not enough. I've seen like houses where it's like it's the husband and wife, but like it's a 20 bedroom, like, or maybe not 20 bedrooms, but you know what I mean?
There's many
like,
bedrooms.
There's just,
Mansion.
There's many bedrooms.
and the house just becomes so cold and empty.
Right.
Because I feel like that's just not knowing what's enough, right? It's just, I just want opulence. I just want.
And also because that also comes at an extent to the expense of relations, right? Relationships.
Yeah.
And if that's what success means to you, I want to be able to spend time with my husband or my wife,
Yeah.
and my mom and my dad and my siblings and my friends. I want to see them. When are you going to see them if you're constantly,
Yeah.
and then you're going to, and they're not going to know you, and then next thing, guys, I've been seeing, has nothing to do with anything. I'm so sorry. But I've been seeing like TikToks, right, where people have been saying, oh, I went to a funeral and there was no one there. And there was no one there because she never came to ours. So why are we going to hers, right? Or maybe they'll come and they'll say, but she never slept kumariro elu. So we're going home. Like things like that where come guys, be serious also. But I understand the logic behind it. You weren't a good friend to me
Because you were busy chasing
Chasing
the bag.
And so now and now your time of need, I must now be the one to be a good friend to you. Doesn't make sense, right? So relationships should be important, and prioritizing those sometimes over making money. If it means, like, if you are a solo practitioner, if it means one Saturday you're not working, you're losing some funds, you're going to maybe miss out on a paycheck on a Saturday, but you go home and you spend it with your mom. Have you really lost?
Yeah. Going back to your question, Chido, about is it ever enough? I think I'm gonna sound so woohoo, guys. It sounds so woohoo. But
The more the woo, the better the
that
who.
whole thing of like thinking of your life in abundance, really, really, just having like an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
I think that really helps, because if you're someone already, like using our country as an example, a lot of us are living in a lot of like survival mode, where you're just saying, okay, I need to eat, we need to go to school, I need this and that and this and that and this. You're obviously going to have a mindset of, I just need more. You're never going to get to a stage where you say, I'm content where I am, because that's where you've been planted for now. This is like your environment. So going back to mindset, you just need to have that mindset in place, have like that abundance in place. So what we're saying is, don't think about the money, think about family, guys. My parents are still alive. I can spend time with my parents. I can spend time with my kids. I can spend time with other family members. I've got a good system of friendships. Like right now, I've got a good system of friendships. Yeah, sure, yeah, mbega, mnamari, right now, but I've got friends I can talk to. I've got people I can spend time with. So I think you just need to think outside of that. What else besides the great hustle that we are all going through right now? Can you just think, okay, at least I have that one thing in my life, or plenty things, because we're thinking in abundance. So those plenty things, those little things that are there that I can use or be content with.
Yeah.
Besides, oh yes, I would love a label bag or a nice car. But that's not where I am right now, and that's not where I've been planted. But where I've been planted, my family is good, guys.
Yeah.
We're so happy. We're
And
like
we're
chill.
healthy.
We're healthy. I'm healthy. So just think of it think of it in other terms. Like think of it in another way.
I just thought of something as well. Number one, right? What is it that brings us joy? Because maybe that's more so what we should be focusing on. And then I just thought of something like, how often do we just do things because they bring us joy? So what I mean is, like, we live in a side hustle era. Everyone is, I'm hustling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
The sound. What is that sound?
Sorry. It's just the urgency. I'm trying to,
Yeah.
we're living in a side hustle era where it's like, with my spare time, I'm supposed to be making, I'm making $500 in my spare time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But how often do people just engage in hobbies because they bring you joy? Because, like, for the longest time, and actually, if anyone knows, please comment down below where I can do like pottery classes, like, where you throw clay and I just want to be able to find a hobby that I can do that just brings me joy.
Yeah, and not to go into the trap of
Monetizing.
your hobby.
Yes.
No, guys. No. Let's just enjoy
Like,
the
I know you've been knitting, right?
Ooh.
I mean,
Guys, that scarf, one day it will become a scarf. For now, it's a bit this long, but
Yeah.
it'll get there
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
but like, just doing something that just brings you joy,
Can I say though,
but
that
not necessarily money.
we have to rework our nervous system, right? And I say this because with my job now, right, knowing that I start work later, right, I have a big chunk of the morning that, like, Crush also wants to rest. You know,
Yeah.
like if you think, like the way I think about my work time is, the time now when you guys get home between 6 and the time you go to bed, that's me in the morning. That's
Yeah.
my time before
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to. If you guys get to sleep and rest in that time, surely me also, just because the sun's out doesn't mean I
You
should
could
be.
also just sleep in.
I could sleep. You know what
Have
I
a
mean?
slow morning, go
And the
drink
reason why I
coffee.
really wanted the job was so that I can sleep in.
Yeah.
I hate mornings. I
Yeah.
hate waking up and having to rush, right? But so often, some person will say, "How? But saka makusinisa bana jovida.
Yes.
Saka you know, and like you could be to like use your time, like this is the perfect time for you, and
To
I'm like,
do
okay, but
what
mind you, I'm also
exactly?
up until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Right, like I'm tired in the
Yeah.
morning. I don't know, I don't want to, also just plainly I don't want.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that thing where it's like, it's now the pressure of like, am I wasting, like now then, sometimes I'll sit back and I'm like, am I wasting time? Should I be? Should I be? I don't know.
I think just to wrap the episode up, because also, where does the time go? I read a quote. It said something like, "Money is a terrible master,
Yeah.
but is an excellent servant." So it's hectic to be a slave to money, but when you kind of figure out that switch in your mind to say, actually, no, money is not the main protagonist, it's just helping me, it's my servant. I think once we make that switch in our minds, it'll honestly make our lives so much better. And I'm just hoping that 2026 brings a paradigm shift where money is concerned. And also, let's have that like mindset of abundance to say, and also, guys, where does this money come from? I think we must understand that God is our source.
Yes.
You know?
Amen to that,
Amen,
actually.
girl. Yes.
So you're putting the wrong thing
Yeah.
at the top.
Yes. And yeah, just
You're
find
right.
a hobby that you enjoy and don't monetize it. Just enjoy it for what it is. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And now, as told by us.